everybody. Welcome to Ladies Power Lunch. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, my name is Dr. Davia Shepherd, and I style myself as the Chief Happiness Officer of our Ladies Power Lunch. I want to say a huge thank you to Win-Win Women because they've given me the opportunity to share our show here with you on the Win-Win Women Network. So our show started as a Ladies Power Lunch podcast and web show, and it was called the Ladies Power Lunch Coffee Break. And our mission with the Ladies Power Lunch Coffee Break show, which is now what we are going to be calling on this network, the Grow Your Business Smarter, Live Your Optimal Life show. What our aim, what our intention has always been, has been to give women in business the tools that they need to grow their businesses and live their optimal lives. Because what I know for sure, having gone through, oh my goodness, guys, we're going to talk about all of this. You're going to realize that I've been there. I've done that. I've bought the t-shirt. I know what it's like to not be as successful in your business as you might want to be. I know what it's like to want more information, want to learn more, not know exactly where to turn for what you need. I know what it's like to be going down that personal development pathway and be getting a lot of really good transformation, but not really knowing exactly how to piece together the business part of things. I know what it's like to be on that other side where I'm learning all the business tools to grow my business, but because the personal development transformational piece isn't there, I've sort of had a bit of a mismatch. And so what our show aims to do is to bring both of those things together, to give us all an opportunity to learn from each other and to actually benefit and grow our business. And like I said, I'm the Chief Happiness Officer of Ladies Power Lunch. So I'm going to try to do it in a way that's fun and exciting and just really a great experience for everybody who tunes in. So I invite you to strap in, get ready, because we're about to have a really great time. I want to say that our show has usually been a tight 30 minutes, and it's usually been sort of an interview format. So what we would do, and as we go along, you learn a lot more about our community, Ladies Power Lunch. So hang on. More information to come. But what we would usually do is invite members of our community to come in and share their wisdom, share their knowledge, share their brilliance with everybody in that tight 30 minutes. And of course, we all benefit because our presenter has an opportunity to share about themselves and share about their business, but also we benefit because in our community, we have some amazing leaders, teachers, gurus, speakers, you name it. We've got them in our Ladies Power Lunch community. And so them sharing their wisdom and their brilliance with us is amazing because then we can all grow our businesses. There's this thought that I subscribe to, that rising tides lift all boats. And what I can say for sure, having lived near the ocean at some point and seen tides coming in and seen boats being lifted, what I can say for sure and with no hesitation whatsoever is that it's true. Rising tide does lift all boats. I've checked it out and I've never ever seen the tide come in and a boat get left behind. I don't know if you have, please do share this with me. I'm really open to and willing and ready to hear about your experiences with that. But my experience has been that this rising tide really does lift all boats. And so our intention with our community has been to make sure that we're all winning, we're all growing. But I feel like I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So like I said, our show over the years has been in this interview format. but it's just like going on a date, I suppose, is a good analogy that I could use. I think perhaps it would be a great idea if over the next couple of shows, maybe the next few shows, how about we take this opportunity to get to know each other? How about we take this opportunity, at least for you to get to know me? And then with the format that we have with this show, you will have an opportunity to also introduce yourselves to me at the very end when we open up for Q&A. So once again, I just want to say thank you so much to Win-Win Women for the opportunity to bring our show to this network. Our intentions are so aligned because Win-Win Women is all about supporting women all around the world. And that's the same objective that we have here at Ladies Power Lunch. So usually on our show, when we have our outstanding, amazing guests coming in, one of our first questions that we like to ask is, who are you? And what are the wonderful things that you're doing in the world? I think it would be great if maybe I could share with you who I am, answer this existential question for all of us. Yeah, this is going to be a doozy. And just share what my mission is and what the mission of our Ladies Power Lunch is. So it all started once upon a time on a bright sunny day in Trinidad. No, we won't go back that far. Won't go back as far as the day I was born. But what I can say is that as I went through life, it became very, very clear to me, and I suppose to the people around me too, that my intention was to be in service. That was the reason that I've been placed here. I am really, really convinced of that. And so I became a physician, and I, at some point, decided it was a good time to go into private practice. Well, you know what they say about good intentions? There's always an issue. Am I right? Went into private practice, I would say about 11 years ago. So I want you to think back to what was happening 11 years ago. I don't know if you can think about it, but what was happening 11 years ago? 11 years ago, guys, at least in this country, a lot of people were going through some pretty tough times. We were in an economic downturn. There are people in our communities who were losing their homes, they were losing their jobs, they were losing, guys, their health insurance. And so this was the moment that I chose to go into private practice. We started our practice. I started my practice here, and well, we were losing patients. And so I had to figure out a way to bring in new patients into our practice. And my very dear mentor and partner suggested to me that a great way to do this would be to join the chamber. Now, I want to say to you, as a woman in business, a woman in corporate life, female entrepreneur, however you describe yourself, joining the chamber is always going to be a great idea, and always I'm going to recommend that. And now I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience with the chamber. And don't let that color your joining chambers. Let it inspire you to make the chamber experience better for all women coming in. So what I realized is that seemed like it was a little bit of a boys' club. It seemed to me like I would walk in the door and be ready to share about what I do and what I have an intention to offer to the community. And all that would happen is that people would be shoving their business cards into my face. Come on, guys. Anybody who's ever been out there networking, you probably had an experience like this at some point in time. Hopefully not the majority of times like I did, but sometimes. I was fortunate though, because the very first day that I walked into a networking event, I was embraced by amazing women, women who were also out there in that networking space feeling like they didn't belong, and seeing another woman walking in, they embraced me right away. So I made some good friends. I made some great friends, and I did all the things. I am sort of a completionist. I like to say to people that I'm a recovering researcher and also a recovering perfectionist. And so if I put my mind to something, I'm going to really try to do it to the best of my ability. So here's what happened. Joined the chamber, and I decided to make my presence felt. So if there was morning networking, guys, I was there. If there was lunch and learn networking, I was there too. And please believe that if there was after hours networking, you got it, I was there too. Oh my goodness. It was great. I made a lot of great friends, made a lot of great connections, and it was also not giving me the return on investment that I was expecting for the time commitment that I was putting in. I did realize, though, that there were some of the women that I was connecting with that really felt the same way that I felt. They really felt like they really wanted to give. They really wanted to share. They really had a pure intention to be supportive of each other. And of course, they became my business besties. And business bestie is a term that you're going to find that I'm going to be using all the time as we continue to have conversation together. So one day I said, hey guys, what would happen if we got together and had lunch one day? Let's just do it. Let's try to make it happen. Now we're talking super busy women at the top of their game. There was one woman, she was an attorney. There was another woman who she was a bank manager. There was another one who's like $1 million real estate agent. One woman who sold greeting cards. There were all these different areas of business, not necessarily fitting together in terms of the services that they offer, but fitting together because of the way that they feel about supporting each other, the way that they really get it, that we all grow when we get together. And so these women, they said, okay, let's do it. It's going to be the third Monday of the month. We'll meet at 12:30. I'm going to tell you where we met at a Ruby Tuesday, guys, on Route 6 in Bristol, Connecticut. We chose Ruby Tuesday because they had a good salad bar and figured that would work for everybody's dietary limitations or whatever people wanted to have. Pretty easy kind of place to eat. And so while this is not a Ruby Tuesday commercial, that is actually where we got started. We met, we had lunch, and that may be one of the best 2 hours that I have ever spent in my whole life, because these women came to the table and they brought their questions, they brought their concerns, but they also brought their support of each other. And that was on display all lunchtime long. There was one woman, she needed a babysitter. Somebody else in the group was able to say, hey, why don't you call my babysitter? I don't usually share my babysitter with people, but I am going to share her with you because I realize that you are me and I am you and we're connected. And this being able to solve this conundrum in your life is going to be able to help you live your optimal life. See how I wove in the name of the show right there? Awesome. We had another woman who was at the table with us, and she needed some help, some support with her elderly parent. And there was somebody at the table who was able to give some information. People needed to make connections with new clients. People needed to make all sorts of different connections, and people were just pulling out their phones and sending emails and texts and connecting people. By the time we left that lunch that day, every single person who brought a concern to the table had their concern met. I'd always heard that when women get together, amazing things happened. But believe me, seeing that in person, seeing that in the flesh, feeling the energy of that was amazing. And everybody felt the same way. Everybody said, you know what, this was great. This was amazing. Why don't we do this again? Why don't we do this more often? We should do this all the time. Well, of course, busy women saying that we should meet again and do this more often. Likelihood of that happening probably close to a zero. And so, being the do it all that I used to be at that time, I raised my hand and I said, hey guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make it happen because this was amazing. We have to duplicate this. What would happen if we decided that every third Monday of the month at 12:30, we'll get together right here. If you can make it, great. Just put it on your calendar. Make sure it's there. And if you can't make it, also fine. We'll see you next time. And you're always welcome to bring a friend as long as she believes what we believe, that when we support each other, we all win. Win, win, women. Well, that was many years ago. I can tell you my practice grew from strength to strength just from people, referring people back and forth to me and me making referrals back and forth to other people. So I can tell you that was definitely a win for me. I can tell you that everybody who was at that table on that day has seen tremendous growth in their businesses. And also we've stayed together over the years and we've made great friends. But what happened? What was born within me on that day was a new commitment. A commitment not just to devote my life to helping our patients to feel better every day, but a commitment to making sure that the women who really embrace the idea of women supporting women to help us grow our businesses, that those women would have a home, would have a place to be, a free, safe place where they can come and support each other and be supported. And that's how the Ladies Power Lunch group was formed. And we started with just 6 women having lunch. And now we have become what I like to term a multinational movement. I have to say, we don't have any members right now in Australia. We have members in New Zealand and the Caribbean and Europe. We even have members in Africa. I don't think we have any members in Antarctica, but if you have a friend who is on a science mission in Antarctica who you can refer to us, that would kind of help us to round things out. I think that would be amazing. But our intention here is to be a supportive place for women who want to support each other, who really believe in that idea. So, I am suggesting that when we got up and we decided that we wanted to be women in business, whether it was in corporate life or we wanted to be female entrepreneurs or we wanted to be women running our small businesses, we had these ideas that we would be in service and it would be amazing and it would be fun. And for a lot of us, we have gotten to this stage where we've taken our 9 to 5 and we've turned it into a 24/7 operation. We are leeching the fun and the joy out of our lives. And so I've turned myself the Chief Happiness Officer of Ladies Power Lunch. I want us to make the thing that we do, the thing that we feel passion for, the thing that gets us out of bed in the morning. I want us to make it fun. I want us to have tons of fun doing it. I want us to light up when we are lighting up our clients. I want us to light up our clients, and then our clients light up and they light up their clients, and on it goes in this beautiful ripple effect into the world. And I truly believe that if we're able to do that, then that's how we change the world one client at a time. And so usually in our interview process, as I go through the show, I usually ask our guests, what are some of the things that you think of as do's and don'ts of whatever it is that we're talking about on that particular day? Well, today we're talking about living your optimal life. So what are some of the do's and don'ts of this living your optimal life? I have to say, it's tricky because when we decide that we're doing the thing that we're doing for work, the thing that we're passionate about, the thing that is our business, what we realize is that it's tricky because there are probably about 5 areas in life that you have to consider when you're thinking about living your optimal life. You have to think about what I like to think about as health, wellness, self-care. You have to think about relationships. If any of those two are not going well, you're going to be having a difficult time living our optimal life. We have to consider our vocation, our career, our business, what it is that we get up and do every day. The fourth thing that we have to consider our financial state, because guys, I know we don't, especially as heart-centered entrepreneurs or heart-centered women in business, we don't always like to think about the money, honey, but if we're not resourced in our businesses, it's really, really difficult for us to be resources for the people who come to us to be served. And of course, we also want to address our spirituality. And so, because there are all these different areas that kind of play into each other and lean into each other, I usually try to make sure that the guests that we bring onto our shows really explain to us and share with us and teach us about these 5 different categories. So we're going to be talking about, as we go forward, health and wellness and self-care, because who couldn't use some more really, really great information about that? We're going to talk about relationships, and not just our relationships with our partners, but what about our relationships with our staff, with our children, with our parents, with our families? All of these things tie into helping us to live our optimal lives. We're going to talk about business. We're going to talk about the things that are our building blocks for our business, the online marketing. We're going to talk about building our social media presence. We're going to talk about publicity and marketing that way. We're going to talk about basically anything that I can get a speaker on that I think can help you grow your business. I'm going to do just that. We're going to talk about finances, have some really, really great financial people, both talking about that mindset piece and also talking about the fundamentals of finances. Have some people like that in my back pocket that I'm just chomping at the bit to share with you. And of course, always want to bring in that piece of spirituality to make sure that we're having that nice, beautiful balance. So those are the areas that we're going to be pulling on to figure out what are the do's and the don'ts of living our optimal lives in our businesses. What I realized back then when I was out there networking and doing all the things is that there were really, really great things going on in my life. My health was going pretty well. I'll share this with you. I had infertility and we'd gone through a whole lot, and I'd finally had my baby. So I felt like my personal reproductive health was A-okay in a way that it had never been before. My relationships were going really great. When you just had a baby, everybody rallies around you, at least they should. And that was what was happening in my experience. And so it was wonderful. It was really, really outstanding. My relationships in my life. I had a supportive husband, supportive work partner, really great staff. All of that was great. I felt like I had finally arrived at that place in my life, in my career, where I was going to be treating with patients and in a one-on-one setting in that private practice stage. So that was going well. You know, a lot of people during that time weren't doing really well financially, but we were okay. We were managing, and I felt like I was in a good place spiritually, but wasn't filling my practice. That was the one piece that wasn't happening. And somehow in this time that should have been so joyful for me, it really colored my experience at that time in a really negative way. And so I want to make sure that as we go through these shows together, that we also address the fact that, you know what? even when things aren't going exactly the way that you might like, or that I might like, or that somebody else might like, the truth is there's always so much to be grateful for. And we're really going to spend some time focusing on what there is to be grateful for and what we have to have gratitude for. I want to take a moment to do one final thing before we close out today. I want to share a card with you. I pulled an oracle card for us today. And, these cards, I think of them more as a thought for the day than a prediction. Sort of something positive to wrap my head around as I go through the day. And I feel like the card that I pulled today is an amazing choice for today's episode. This one's called Big Bold Vision, and it's from The Sacred Rebels by Alana Fairchild. And what she says here is, guys, big bold vision. Could this be a more perfect card? You're not born to play a small role in life. You have the ability to dream big, even if you have absolutely no idea about how your visions can come to pass or what all that the details may look like. You can access the heart and guts of a vision by tapping into your wildest dreams and surrendering attachment to exactly how it will all work out. The details are up to the creative genius of the universe. You are an active, contributing participant, but not the sole player in your life's journey. There is something, a vision or an idea that is coming. You may worry that it's too much for you, but don't worry, it's meant to be yours. Although you might have some adjustments to make and some tweaking to do as you let go of your limited thinking and open up to the fearless acceptance of bigger, brighter, or more radical and more potent possibilities of living your life in the world. Here's the part that I like, the part that I thought was, oh my goodness, the best thing about this card. A sign that you're cracking out of your limited thinking to allow for a big, full, bold vision to come to you is that you might feel a little dizzy with the shrinking limitations and expanding possibilities of life. You may wonder if you're allowed to access such wonder. Remember that in your healing and growing success as you manifest this big vision, you can touch the hearts of others through your presence, your inner work, your art, and your choices. It is a win-win situation. Guys, the cards have said it. It is a win-win situation. I'm so pleased to be here. I'm so glad you're tuning in to watch us. I'm looking forward to getting to know every single one of you, and I'm looking forward to just having a wonderful show with you. Like I said before, I am the Chief Happiness Officer of Ladies Power Lunch. So on our show, we're always going to want to try to have a little bit more fun. Guys, there may be pom-pom waving. I may have to blow a kazoo once in a while. I may wave my flags, share my crown. I might even have to do a dance once in a while and put on my crazy glasses just to share with you how much more fun life can be when you love your business and you're living your optimal life in your business. I want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in today. And guys, I hope you'll come back next time. We have some really great shows lined up for you. So I'll see you guys on the next show. Bye, everyone.